is PJ, but my grandmother likes to call me Patrick. And today we are going to be doing a little hike together through the woods. And I'm going to be nerding out and talking to you about my mobile ASMR setup. I have my Harry Potter shirt on and my water shoes as well. And we're on one of my more favorite trails. There's a lot of people here today because it's a Sunday and a long weekend, but I thought to myself, frick it. Sometimes you just gotta say frick it. We'll do it live. So, as many of you know, I am a little bit obsessed with camera and audio equipment, and for a very, very long time, I was kind of looking for the no compromises, perfect audio, and perfect video setup. Holy, it's bright. And over the years, as we matured, so too has our ASMR equipment matured. And I have a little secret to let you in on. That's for a couple months now. Basically, all my videos have been made with this exact equipment. So first, what are you listening to? You know, if I take you over here, I can show you exactly every item and every sound around you. Pretty cool. And it's mobile. Oh, we reached a little dead end. Gotta take a little track this way. Here, I'll show you the trail for a little bit. Just for a moment, this is the tree that fell down and was blocking the original path. And there's a few other little logs, bushes that have fallen over. But that is absolutely beyond the point, because I want to tell you about what I'm holding here in my hand. So I have a little tiny device. It's a Zoom M3. It's a shotgun microphone, but the really, really cool thing is that it's completely disconnectable. You can disconnect it and keep it separate from the camera entirely, which allows a whole bunch of flexibility. But, and maybe more importantly, as you can hear, it provides exceptional sound. Most microphones, they can fit right to your camera. They don't have their own power supply, and they rely on the camera to give it power, which is very low power and very no good power. But I got a little spider web on my face, so it's very low power, and it's not ideal. So it doesn't let microphones shine. They really feel choked out. And this simply is powered by 2 AA batteries, which makes it really convenient. You just get yourself a couple of rechargeable batteries, and bing bang boom, you're off to the races. Here, let's show you something else. Like if I wanted to quickly just put you down and some sound for him to leave. I could do that quite easily. I feel like this is a really good example of what ADHD looks like. I always come out to make these kind of videos with like the greatest idea in my head and everything so organized. And then I get to the woods and I'm like, what's my name? Where am I? What am I supposed to be doing? But we're gonna make it to the main little trail that I'm gonna find. And then we can really get down to the brass tacks. So, luckily we found it. I can't believe we haven't run into another person in these woods, which is good. I like my peace and quiet. And the last thing I want is for people to ask me why I'm holding this phallus-shaped microphone up to my mouth in the woods. So let me switch hands. Actually, no, even better. Let's be more scatterbrained. So here's the fit check, brother. Here's the fit check. No, you're probably wondering, what am I recording this on? That's a really, really good question. And the truth is, if I told you, I'd have to kill you. There's a mosquito here. Bug spray time. Out of my rucksack. We are now safe. No mosquitoes can hurt us. So, back to what you are. Let's take a look. This is the most simplest little setup. I think I can show you like this. There you go. Look at that technology inception. So you are on a cheap little rinky-dinky aluminum small rig tripod. And we're filming right now on a rinky-dinky little Nikon Z30. And yes, I asked. It is in fact pronounced Nikon. Typically, the shotgun microphone lives like right on top of the camera. Just put it right on top, like that. But really, really simple setup, you know? So, that's the, hey, what are you doing down there? Come on now, no messing around, come on. So, admittedly, the camera is really, really simple. I just asked myself, which camera system do I like, and which one has the features that I want. And I used to think it was 8K and 60 frames per second and log and raw recording. But all that is a ton of work. Most people are just used to picking up their iPhone and filming the things around them. Nobody's really worried about getting the maximum absolute quality at the maximum amount of effort. Most people, they just want something that they can pick up, turn on, and enjoy. And I have in fact become most people. So, while this is incredibly simple, it still gets you 90% of the look that you wanted. So, you know, if using the most expensive RAW camera in the world got you 100% the best looking video in the world, but it was so much work and so difficult to get that look, you didn't have the time nor energy to process it all and make it look like you wanted it to, then it might as well have been filmed on an iPhone with nothing. So this is like my complete bare bones, something in the middle between the high highest quality and the lowest quality where it's simply good enough. So the Nikon Z30, I have a Z50 Mark II as well that I use for like studio work. Something inside, something that I just have to press record and play around with some settings, and it looks pretty good. And then I have this one that's super lightweight, and I can take and have fun with and not have to worry. So, back to the microphones. As you know, I typically rock with a pretty portable setup that I've also made, and that would be the MixPre 3.2 is the audio recorder with soldered on terminals so that I can power it with an MPF battery so that the battery lasts really long and I don't have to worry about it running out, because that thing with AA batteries, I swear you get like 2 or 3 hours of recording, which sounds a lot, but then you're charging every single time and it's kind of a nuisance. Uh-oh, I see the sunlight. So you charge that with an MPF, and then with that, you have to plug into XLR microphones to get your left and right. And with that setup, I've been rocking that same style of microphone setup, and I just thought, hey, with the experience I've had in the past with smaller microphones, I have absolutely no choice. Like, it's XLR or nothing. And on my previous trip to British Columbia, I just did some research and wanted to try out one of these newer microphones that everybody was talking about. And one that people weren't really talking about was this little Zoom microphone. And I think I know why. It's because it was perfectly made for me. And most people, it's not ideal. But I'll tell you why. I love the Zoom M3 recorder. Little crunching sounds. So, what does the MixPre 3 give me? It gives me 32-bit floating audio, so I can throw this microphone off a bridge, off an airplane, and here I gotta switch hands. The camera keeps going like lower and lower and lower, lower and lower and lower. But you could throw it off a cliff into the most windy, noisy environment in the world. And because it's 32-bit float, you're still comfortably going to get a maximum range of loudness. So you can take that file, plug it into your computer, and with very minimal effort, you can get fantastic sounding audio. So, with most on-camera microphones, they just try and use this little cable here on the side, and that plugs right into your camera, so that you get a little extra microphone on top that can record some sounds and then work perfectly and send that into your camera. And while this guy can essentially work the same by changing all that on your camera, another great feature it has is that it can record to an SD card. So that's what I'm doing right here. It's not plugged into the camera, and I still get all the sound recorded and saved that I can then later, in 5 minutes, plug into my computer, select how loud I want to be it, and block everything else out, do all the sound editing, do all the fun stuff. Here, there's actually a whole lot of trees and little twigs that have fallen here. I'm gonna have to play a little hopscotch with this guy here. surprisingly enough. You'd think right now it'd still be really, really green. I guess the floor is just covered in pine needles here. And it doesn't really have much time to warm up and allow any light to hit the ground for the grass to grow. Well, this is a really good area. So here, let's do a little showcase actually. So I want to put you onto the ground. Like these. Is that okay? That's okay. So I didn't expect how much I would enjoy this camera and microphone setup. For a while I kind of felt like I was forced to use an XLR setup with a big fancy, there's pine cones falling around I'm like 2 meters away. So yeah, I just thought like, hey, the only option you have is to use a big camera and a big microphone, and it's heavy and hard to use and a lot of work. And recently I've just been trying to get some, I think there's gotta be something above us playing around with the pine cones, because they're going crazy. The pine cones just keep falling. Do you see that? Another great benefit. Man, this thing must be like right above me. It's a bird or something. But yeah, another great benefit of this camera is that it has a little zoom on it. So it's nothing crazy. But once again, it's the difference between getting a shot and not getting a shot. And that's what this camera is really able to do. Typically it's going to live in this little area. But you see how boring and bland that is? You just give it a little bit of a zoom. Oh no, mosquito check. We still got more mosquitoes on us. Means more sprays. One on the left leg, one on the right leg, one on the chest, one on the neck, one on the arm. And we should be safe. A little bit in the mouth too. I really don't care for mosquitoes. So here's that maximum zoom. You can see how interesting that can make something look. And how dynamic it can be. Excuse what sounds like a motorboat in the middle of the mountain. I think it's a helicopter or a small plane. Let's go for a little bit more. A little walker-isky. It's a little walker-isky, you know. So, what's the purpose of the video? The purpose of the video is to show you my current setup. Just a little tiny Nikon. Zoom M3 audio recorder. It's really... Oh man, I just realized that sounded like an ad and I didn't like it. You probably just saw my face just scrunch up and nothing else. No, I like it just because it's simple. It's cheap. It gets the job done and it sounds just as good as my other stuff. I was really surprised, pleasantly surprised, to see people commenting on my recent videos saying how crisp the audio and video is. Like, if only you knew it could technically be a little bit crisper, but clearly it is good enough. Especially if it sounds good enough to me, then it's definitely good enough for most people, you know. So, what else can we share and talk about? I guess that's kind of all. This is a little bit of a personal test to me, because while I've had this microphone and camera for a while now, I haven't really entirely tested it out in every scenario, especially something like this. So I wanted to test a walking and talking little thing, just to see, in fact, does it sound good? Is it good enough? Helicopters, arise. So, if I post this, clearly that means it is in fact good enough. And hopefully it sounds pretty good. I know it's really, really good at picturing or capturing like nature sounds, things in front of the camera, especially when it's mounted on the top. But and I know it's pretty good at whispering in the studio, but I'm not entirely sure if it's good in a dynamic environment like this. It also has a few settings on the mic. Probably one of the things I don't like. I don't like when things have a ton of features. I'd rather something just be really, really good at one thing rather than okay at a million things. But if you look on the side there, you can change the pickup pattern, which is either 90 degrees or 120 degrees, and off as well. And I've been meaning to test if there's an audio quality difference in those two settings. So, is 90 cleaner than 120? How is it achieving these wider frequency patterns? I'm not entirely sure either. So I still have to test that out. They haven't really updated firmware since 2023, so that's kind of too bad, right? Like, you wish that they'd be constantly updating it, making it better. And I read their most recent update, which was in 2023. It's version 1.1. And the only change they made, I'm paraphrasing, is something like fixed wind noise, even with wind cover on mic. And it's like, how do you fix too much wind noise with a wind cover on the mic without like changing a whole bunch of integral physical features inside of the microphone itself? It just makes me feel like they cut out some frequencies or made the attenuation or automatic compressing stronger, which I'm not into. So this morning I was actually spending time trying to find out how I can install the first firmware. But I can't find anything. So I guess if there's someone like me in the comments who knows about this kind of stuff, let me know how to find the original firmware for this microphone. Apart from that, how can we improve stuff? Well, I'm always complaining that secretly I hate cameras. I don't really mind microphones. Microphones never gave me any trouble, but man, cameras freaking suck. It's 2025, and if you want a hybrid camera, a bridge camera that just records 4K 60 frames per second, doesn't even have good AF, and has like a built-in lens that does 24 to 50. That's not a big ask. At anything shallower than let's say f2, you can't find it. It doesn't exist, especially with a constant aperture. I'm still in love with the first camera I've ever bought for this channel, and that was the Panasonic FZ300. That thing had a constant aperture of f2.8, and you could zoom from like 16 millimeters wide to 800 millimeters wide. And that's when my channel would get weird comments about people who thought I was a midget, which clearly, I'm a big boy. I'm at least 5'9.5". No, I'm not at least 5 foot. That's exactly how tall I am. But I can't get over, like, if that camera just just had better video quality, because literally the video quality was absolute dookie. It just looked like a blurry little image. It was the perfect camera. I felt so comfortable turning that thing on. It felt like an extension of my body. You flick the power switch on, you're zooming, you're changing settings, everything just makes sense. And it also kind of looked like what I wanted to do, albeit like the poorest video quality you could ever imagine. And the pictures were amazing on it. So like, it just blows my mind that it's 2025, and if you want essentially an iPhone with a lens that can zoom built into it, it doesn't exist at anything less than like f2.8, which I know sounds like a pretty small deal. I was just checking if there's Bigfoot behind me. It sounds like a small deal, but if you have a camera with a pretty small sensor, then you have every reason to get a wide aperture. I get how a big camera can have a challenge to get a wide aperture because it's physically limited. But if you have a small camera like an iPhone, you can have f1, f1.2 apertures on there. And for whatever reason, all these bridge cameras, they make them to like film birds out in nature, so people don't really care what the aperture is. But if you just want to do a little vlog in the woods, then oops, sorry, you're stuck essentially with a really dark image that has very high ISO and practically no background blur, which still looks cheap, like a cheap little iPhone, and it has no convenience and no fun of ability to change settings and do all that kind of fun stuff. So believe me, I've checked every camera combination in the world. If anything, Sigma came out with a new lens, and it's the f1.8 17 to 40, and it's for APS-C, but they don't make it for Nikon. They make it for Canon, for Fujifilm, for a bunch of places, but they don't make it for Nikon or Micro Four Thirds, which is wasted opportunity. So like, if you could get a decent Canon, like the new Canon 50 R50V, and that lens, that could be pretty close to my perfect dream setup. But we're still pretty far away from that happening. And no one really seems to be in a race to make that stuff. There's plenty of full frame cameras that are out of the reach of most regular people. And that's what I am. That's what I like to be. I'm a regular dude. I don't want to buy a 5,000 camera when there's people in this world who don't have breakfast, you know? It just, I feel yucky. I feel gross. I'm not interested. So like, yeah, you can go right now and get the newest Sony that has to offer, and it'll be 8K, 60 frames per second, and you'll be able to film in all kinds of log and flat picture profiles. But why, when you can just get something that looks pretty dang good right out of the camera? I always try and get the best looking image in camera, whether that's the exposure, the white balance, or the contrast. If the contrast is really low, then you need a lot of bit depth, bit rate to capture all that information. And then you got this massive file. Like, even this camera, it records 4K, but right now I'm just filming 1080p because I don't have the business to slow down my computer and spend 4 hours rendering a video when I could just make it in 1080p and it looks exactly the same as the 4K. So this is where it is. This is what it's like. I got a little trip coming up where I'm gonna be doing a whole bunch of portable videos. Just a short little trip, a week and a half, taking some time off to chillax, see some family, and have a good time. So I hope you enjoyed this video with this little setup. I fully agree. Yes, it was very spacey and all over the place. and we didn't run into a single person miraculously. So thank you. Thank you very much. I hope you have a great night. Take it easy. Take care. And I shall catch you in the next video. Good night, good night, good night. Take it easy.